A poor woodcutter and his 3 daughters lived far from the village, on the edge of a forest, in an abandoned hut. Due to his poverty, the woodcutter had chosen this remote dwelling as his home, as he lacked the money to build a house in the village. His daily life revolved around collecting dry branches and selling them to the villagers for a meager amount, just enough to feed his family for the day. Every day, without fail, he would gather wood and buy food for himself and his daughters. One evening, as the woodcutter sat down to dinner with his daughters, he began to worry about their future. He thought to himself, "I work hard every day just to earn enough for today. What if I fall ill or something bad happens to me? Who will take care of my daughters then? I must work even harder to save some money for such difficult times." Determined, he decided to gather more wood the next day. However, despite his efforts, the amount of wood he collected was the same as every other day. The small forest simply couldn't provide more. Frustrated, the woodcutter realized that gathering wood alone would never help him achieve his goal. He decided to seek a new job, but despite his efforts to find work in the nearby village, no one hired him because he had no skills other than collecting wood. One night, while preparing for bed, the woodcutter noticed the axe hanging on his wall, which he had never used to cut down a tree. He had always respected the forest, knowing that cutting trees would destroy his only source of livelihood. Moreover, there were rumors of a fierce spirit guarding the forest, punishing anyone who dared harm it. After much thought, the woodcutter decided to use the axe to achieve his goals. The next morning, as he prepared to cut down a tree, he noticed a bundle of wood nearby with a note that read, "Take it. It's yours." Surprised but grateful, the woodcutter took the wood, sold it in the village, and was pleased with the money he received. This mysterious event repeated every day, providing the woodcutter with enough wood to sell, though he never discovered who was helping him. One day, after a year of receiving these wood bundles, the woodcutter found himself in a difficult situation. His expenses had increased, and the wood was no longer enough to cover the needs of his growing daughters. He decided to cut down a tree, despite the warnings about the forest spirit. Just as he raised his axe, a terrifying spirit appeared and warned him not to cut the tree. The spirit explained that it had been providing him with the wood every day to help feed his daughters, as the woodcutter had never harmed the forest before. However, this time, the spirit was compelled to intervene because the woodcutter had ignored its earlier help. The spirit offered a new deal. It would continue providing wood, but in return, the woodcutter must never cut down a tree. Grateful, the woodcutter agreed. However, when one of his daughters fell gravely ill, the woodcutter found himself in a dire situation. The treatment was expensive, and he didn't have enough money to buy the necessary herbs from India. Desperate, he returned to the forest, determined to cut down trees to pay for his daughter's treatment. As he was about to begin, the spirit appeared again and told him of a magical well whose water could cure his daughter. Following the spirit's instructions, the woodcutter used the water to heal his daughter completely. Overjoyed, the woodcutter returned to the village and shared the miracle with the local healer. The healer, curious about the water's power, asked the woodcutter to bring him more, and together they helped many sick villagers. However, a greedy young man soon discovered the well and began selling the water for profit. Angered by this, the spirit hid the well from everyone. The woodcutter, upon learning of this, pleaded with the spirit to restore the well, promising that only the needy would benefit from its healing powers. The spirit agreed, and the woodcutter continued to bring water to the healer, ensuring that only the poor received treatment for free. The woodcutter's reputation for kindness grew, and he became known for his generosity, helping to transform his village into a prosperous and happy place. He and his daughters continued to assist the villagers, spreading kindness and joy wherever they went, and the village flourished under their care. And so our story comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed it, and please support us by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Until the next story on Oasis of Tales.